Good morning, everybody. So glad to hear your voices from all over the country. This is the Diamond Factory, where diamonds are made. Diamonds in the raw are made. Sometimes the diamond is on the inside of us and we don't even know it. I'm Dr. Roz, your VP of Communications, and I'm here to share what I just really want to be transparently share today. I'm telling you, we've been hearing some things this week, and we heard at the beginning of the week about resistance and, life be life. And that's the way we say it today in 2024. But I'm going to share something with you guys. And it was just, it just kind of, a light bulb went off in my head after this happened. um, as you know, I live in Houston, Texas. And after the last hurricane, Beryl, which came kind of through here, it was only a category, I think they said a category 3, maybe they said a category 2, which means it wasn't a big, huge hurricane, right? But we got the dirty side of it. That's what they call that. And the dirty side of it means that, it seems kind of catastrophic depending on where it hit. So after this hurricane came through Houston a couple of months ago, there was hardly a house that was not affected in.
Dr. Ross, we can't hear you.
Main thing that was off for one day or several weeks, depending on where you were. And for others, tree limbs fell. And for some, entire trees were uprooted and damaging and even destroying some houses. And for many, fences were destroyed. Fortunately, at my house, since we were still, and I'm grateful to God, we were still been recovering from the freeze a few years ago, we had very minor damage. We had limbs that fell in the yard, nothing fell on the house, but we have a fence in the backyard, 3 sides. That completely fell. It was hardly a house that didn't get affected by fences because the wind was so strong. But then something else took place that seemed to be related to the storm. One day, we're just a couple of days after the storm, we're flushing the toilets, and the toilets are not flushing as swiftly as they used to. And hear me when I say that, because I'm glad that they were flushing. Thank you, Jesus. But not as swiftly, it was a slower movement. And so as I began to think, I started thinking, I bet that's debris because so many trees and branches and leaves and, things fell that I'm thinking it's probably clogged up the drainage somewhere. Well, to confirm my suspicions, my husband went to the backyard and saw this place where there was a plate. And I guess that's where the sewer line is. And he, to his surprise, saw little remnants of tissue, toilet tissue. So then that kind of confirmed my suspicions that there was something blocking the.
Can't hear you, Dr. Ross. Dr. Ross.
Try to take all our money, the little money we got, right? And so he immediately said that the city ain't gonna do nothing. The city ain't gonna do a thing. They don't do nothing. It'd be a surprise if they even show up. And he was very emphatic about his statement. And so some days passed, and then the toilet situation seemed to be slowing down more and more. And so my husband said, on his way out to work one morning, he said, "Are you gonna call the city?" And I said, "Okay." But I was thinking we were going to have to bite the bullet because the plumber had told us what it was going to cost us if he were to come out and send his line through and blah, blah, blah. But I chose to listen to my husband and call the city. So I called the city, explained the situation. They put a case in. And about 3 hours later, there was a knock on the door from the city, a supervisor. He went in the backyard, and about 5 minutes later, he knocked again saying he's put an order in and someone would be out. He acknowledged that I didn't have to be at home and a note would be left on the door. But by the time I returned from what I had to do throughout the course of that day, there was no note on the door. So I assumed that they hadn't come out yet, that they were still, they were still going to come, but they hadn't come out yet. But when I went to the restroom, flushing was back to normal in both restrooms. So here's the thought that came to my mind as I share you my story. The question was who I listened to. That's the thought that came to my mind. When I looked at this whole situation, it's like, who do you listen to? Because if I listen to the plumber, and he's a good guy, he saved us a lot of money in the past rather than calling these big, huge plumber Roto-Rooters and all these other services. He, being an individual, has saved us a lot of money, so I trust him. But if I had listened to him, we would have been out of about $600. But instead, I listened to my husband, which usually he has to listen to me. Let me add that in there. Anyway, but I listened to my husband and it didn't cost us a dime. So, Akana Nation, who are you listening to? Who are you listening to in your life, in your business, in your daily activities? Who are you listening to? Because who you listen to is who you follow. Who you follow determines the major decisions in your life. Who is the loudest voice in your ear? And what is it saying about you? What is it saying about your progress? What is it saying about your success? Who are you listening to? See, we often listen to too many voices. Too many voices, and they confuse us because we become confused in our direction. There's a voice coming from within the house. There was a movie about that. A voice was in the house. They were thinking somebody was going to attack them from the outside. But there's a voice coming from within the house in all of our lives. We're moved, directed, and instructed by our own inner voice. Yes, things can externally influence our decisions and our movements, but ultimately we make our move based on the inner voice we're listening to. For those of you Bible readers, when Adam and Eve clothed themselves in the Garden of Eden, God asked them, who told you you were naked? In other words, who you been listening to? Because just a few minutes ago, you were running around the garden naked and enjoying life and naming stuff. But now you done took some leaves and clothes you and said, who told you that? What is the voice in your head telling you this morning about yourself that contradicts and hinders your progress? Who are you listening to? Listening to the wrong voice or too many voices causes one, indecision and procrastination. Indecision leads to procrastination. We hesitate, we fear the potential outcome, we make a decision, then we question the decision that we made. We overthink it, and then we might even reverse the course of direction that we're going, often preventing any kind of movement at all. Because see, if you make one step and then you make a step back and you make two steps and you make 2 steps back or 3 steps back, realize you're in the same place you were in the beginning. Listening to the wrong voice or listening to too many voices causes, number 2, conflict with our goals and our priorities. So we lose our focus. We got too many targets. We're trying to hit too many things at the same time. Things get blurry. You ever been to the doctor and had eye stuff done to you, and you come out and got to put on those black glasses because now your vision is blurred? So who are you listening to? because our direction gets blurred. So we can't see clearly. We want to be in a place, Akana, that we can say, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. When we listen to the wrong voice, or we listen to too many voices, number 3, we end up with fear of the risk or the failure. Because that voice says, don't do it. What's going to happen? It may not work. We listen to that false evidence that appears to be real, and we don't make a commitment at all, and we miss opportunities, or we half-heartedly put our best foot forward. We said it was our best foot, but it was half-hearted. Or we don't give it our all. And we just sit paralyzed, and we paralyze our own success because we fear failing. You know what we should fear? Never trying. Don't fear failing, because failure is not fatal. It doesn't happen all the time. It will not check you out, but never trying. When we listen to the wrong voice or too many voices, 4, it causes us to try to please everybody. Because we got all these voices going on in our head, all these things we got to do, running like a chicken with our head cut off, trying to avoid conflict or offending anybody. Hello, you're going to offend somebody. We can't please everybody. And then it causes us to compromise our own beliefs and our own values. I'm challenging you that are struggling to say no, to say no. Stop overcommitting yourself. And then you look like you're not doing a job well done. Now you look like you're not being effective in what you do. And it also will cause burnout. We have people now that are not here because of burnout. They burned out. And lastly, when you listen to the wrong voice or too many voices, it makes you closed-minded. Closed-minded to what? Closed-minded to change. Wow, we don't like that word. Change is inevitable. Change happens. Change is all around us. And we want improvement, but we don't want change. Change is necessary. Commercials on TV where the family, ever seen that commercial on television where the family won't change their electricity bill, the electricity company, and they're sitting there in the house, they're hot. The girl says, we're hot in the kitchen, we're hot in the bathroom, you're hot in the bedroom, and their parents are saying, we're not going to change. It's necessary to have growth. It's necessary to stay relevant. It's necessary to meet new needs. It's necessary to avoid being stagnant. It's necessary to overcome challenges and explore new possibilities. We have to often embrace change. So this morning, who are you listening to? What is the voice in your head saying about you, who you are, and what you're capable of? You are so much more capable of what sometimes we give ourselves credit for, because we really don't even know our capabilities. We haven't tapped into the God in us that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all we can ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. We're so much more capable. So I'm saying to you, don't blame anybody, because that's happening is coming from inside your house. Turn the channel. If you got to get on top of the house like they used to do back in the days and redirect your antenna, get the static off your channel. Used to be when we had analog radio, you'd have to keep turning it to get it tuned in. Now it's digital, so all you got to do is turn to the right number. Turn it. Listen, meditate on the things that are true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious, the best, not the worst, the beautiful, not the ugly, things to praise and not things to curse. Think on these things. Today is Wednesday. It is a great day because at 1 p.m. today, and I'll let Mooney come on and talk about it. Listen, there's an exciting event taking place. Our Miss Phyllis Nash, our midwife, man, she's doing the doggone thing and making sure we open this thing up for people that don't want to come out at night. Do you know your blood type? The Elevation Experience at 1 p.m. today. They're in Chicago, in Bronzeville. And then I do want to mention for those of you that are gardeners or thinking about being gardeners. And when I say a gardener, that could just be one pot. Did you hear what I said? I didn't mean you had to hold a whole backyard of gardening. If you got one pot with something in it, this Saturday at 11 a.m. virtually, we're going to do another gardener showcase because we recognize that if we don't take care of ourselves, grow our own stuff, we can't have anything without any insecticides, pesticides, herbicides, all of that. So we got to grow our own stuff. If you're growing it in your house, if you're growing it in your patio, if you're growing it and you want to showcase it, let's inspire each other. And 11 a.m. Saturday after the 10 o'clock call, that's Central Time on our corporate line. Go ahead, Mooney. I see you unmuted.
Wow, very powerful message, Dr. Ross. Very powerful. Always super excited. I invite everybody to come on out because our own founder and our midwife, Phyllis Nash, along with a trichologist named Francis Ellis, is hosting an amazing event at 1 p.m. They're kicking off momentum because they want you to know what's going on the inside of your body. Even if you're somebody who's been suffering from alopecia, come in and find out why. I think it's just going to be amazing. I might even try to find out what's going on with certain parts of my beard because I'm still trying to get it to wolf out. But at 6 p.m., usually our Crystal Robinson and Abinai Sharon, man, the diamonds in the making, are going to be there at 6 p.m. This is that Wednesday that is amazing, and we invite everybody out, the community. If you're in the Chicagoland area, please feel free to join us and tune in. Momentum is starting. Back to you, Dr. Brown.
Thank you, Crystal. I see you unmuted. Go ahead, speak for yourself.
Good morning, Dr. Ross. Thanks so much for the reminders about who are we listening to, because we really got to stay focused. Everybody, we will be there tonight at 6 p.m. sharp. We'll be there during the Wednesday Wellness Workshop, and we will have a sneak peek at the incredible, amazing energy enhancement soul massage spa. So please come on out, bring your guests, and we hope to see everybody tonight. Thanks, Dr. Ross.
All right. And Ernestine, are you still there? I don't see you anymore. I know you're getting another group started. If you're still here, you might be on the treadmill, but y'all get ready because there's another group getting ready to start for the summer, and still, kids are going back to school, but still need to get your body right. All right. So make sure you get with her. All right. So listen, guys, have a great day. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful Kanakana day. And we'll see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Bye for now.